welcome to STARGEEKZ. This is Sean.
And this is Ed.
And it is just me and you, Ed, this week. Not much Star Wars news to really kind of talk about. I think you had some like Natalie Portman news, but I mean,
I don't think it's news, but we'll talk about it.
yeah, it's not really much to talk about. It really is it's been a slow Star Wars week, and coming up, it's just not much to talk about until we get probably what Acolyte is next and like anything else. But
Yep.
Let me tell you some real different Star Wars news, but kind of connected. I did watch Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
And
It was
better than the Crystal Skull.
I don't remember the Crystal Skull as much, so I'd have to go back and watch it.
You're good not remembering it.
But old Indiana Jones doesn't work for me. It doesn't. It just don't hold up. I get it, but it was okay, but it was just like, if I wouldn't mind them rebooting Indiana Jones. I would be okay with that. Not as much as like oh yeah, rebooting Star Wars, but Indiana Jones could be rebooted, and it could be you give a actor that's Harrison Ford's age when he first became Indiana Jones, and kind of move off of that. But like this should end. This is over. Like this Indiana Jones thing is over. There's no more. We don't want to see it anymore. Let it just go.
I think they could do Indiana Jones like James Bond. You could roll in different actors and different generations as well. It's like anything. If you get a good story behind it, I think that would be something that they could continue with it. And again, we've seen how the action has gotten really good on some of the James Bonds, so I wouldn't mind seeing that at all.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel. A little chiming in with his look at these sexy guys. I don't know how I feel. I'm just like this, even the CG or AI that was done on Harrison Ford, it was okay, but it didn't catch me. Like I wasn't like I used to be. And I actually went back and watched Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, and The Last Crusade. Phenomenal fucking movies. I just did not get that feeling. I just didn't get that excitement from it. Even the music was great, but I didn't get that excitement from it. It was like, there's an old man on a horse. He looks grumpy. He looks old. He looks mad. He doesn't. It looked like he didn't want to be there. I just got that feeling. So
I think that's a legitimate Harrison Ford in his older age feeling. He has that curmudgeon kind of thing about him.
It's like he tried to be Indiana Jones and it just couldn't. It just didn't work. It's just like, oh, you just feel bad. It's like, oh, like he's trying. He's trying real hard. He's Harrison Ford, so I gotta respect him. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, you should retire from acting, buddy. It's your time. Like, call it. Let's hang up the cape. I mean, hang up the lasso or the whip and the hat and pass it on. I would love for it different than to pass it on.
Yeah.
So, have you watched it yet? You haven't watched it at all?
I wanted to, but I think I was just so turned off with Crystal Skull. I'm like, I don't know if I can go back there. I'm afraid. And then after that, I forgot.
I think it was better than Crystal Skull.
Well, like I said, it can't be any worse. That was horrible. But no, now that you've mentioned it, I'll add it to my list. I do need to go back and watch it.
Yeah. But overall, I mean, just not much Star Wars news. I mean, if you want to talk about what you got, but
we were talking about it earlier that I read that it was an interesting article talking about Natalie Portman, and I think it mainly came up because as any actor or actress who's been involved in a major franchise, they get asked about it all the time. She was asked if she had any interest in reprising her role, which, I mean, she knows that obviously she died in childbirth or shortly after, but she said that she is interested, and if something came along and they were able to work her character back in, she would do it. And then they were talking about where after the release of Phantom Menace, they were in England, and at the time, Prince Charles was talking to her and asking her about being in it, and made a comment along the lines about asking if she was in the original movies, which she was 18 when Phantom Menace came out. So I don't think that that would have been. There's no way she would have been in the originals, and I think it was just one of those looking at him like, "Are you serious?" And then the other piece that was mentioned, which concerns me, was Taika, because of his relationship with her and Love and Thunder, and apparently asked her, since he's doing a Star Wars movie, if she had interest in being in Star Wars, not realizing she's in Star Wars. So that just we talked about this before. I like Taika. I'd be interested to see what he does, but the fact that he doesn't know who's in the other Star Wars movies, especially a main character, kind of
Troubling.
scares me. Kind of scares me a little.
Yeah, it's very troubling. Very, very troubling. I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah.
We'll see how that plays out. Now, you know what? There is some Star Wars news, man. Mark Thorpe, Star Wars VFX artist, passed away last week, I think, at 77.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, you figure with the age of the movie that we're gonna start to see that. Those who were involved in the originals.
Yeah, Mark Thorpe, who worked on the props. I can actually share this actually real quick. I mean, again, going back again, times that I go back and I watch it again this week. Watching ILM artists, create the stuff that they created, it to me was just phenomenal. But he passed away. He worked on the props and the visual effects of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. He announced that his father had passed away last Friday. But I mean, really cool stuff. I mean, again, working for ILM again is
Oh.
probably one of the most phenomenal dream jobs of all time. Robot War Games. I don't know what that was, but awesome though. I mean, Jesus, like again, there'll be no battle bots, no robot wars, no robo games, none of that stuff without Mark Thorpe. So that's cool. That's cool that he was known for that. And sadly missed, in the Star Wars community. But I mean, all those ILM artists are they up there in age.
Yeah, well, you figure if they were in their mid-20s, that
Mhm.
that puts them all in their 70s at this point, mid-70s likely.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and they're just getting up there. I even see Lucas, and I'm just like, yeah, man, he's getting old too, man. And Spielberg's getting old, and it's sad. It's just like, oh, what's up, Archangel? It's just sad, man, to see like certain guys that you looked up to and you watched and just pass away, man. And we're gonna start seeing that more and more over the next couple of years, man.
Yeah.
It's sad to see them go, but they again, what ILM did to the movie, literally, like, and I want to talk about this like real quick, but what ILM did to the movie industry
Oh, revolutionized it.
revolutionized everything,
Oh, yeah.
just everything, and people don't understand. Like, I was gonna have a debate with somebody on another show about the impact of Star Wars and Star Trek, and again, Star Trek was the beginning, but Star Trek died off, and when Star Wars came along, it changed everything from Star Trek to everything that we watched on movies and the big screen and TV, and just hands down what ILM did is that's the impact of Star Wars.
It changed visual effects and science fiction forever. I mean, even with us talking tonight with this animation from the holiday special, you know,
Mhm.
and we'll get into the details about the feel of things in the 70s. I mean, if you look at anything that was science fiction made prior to Star Wars, it was not good. I mean, it didn't look good. It didn't feel good. Some of it was just
No.
dark. And I mean, that is one of the things is you can watch A New Hope today and still get that wow factor from the special effects that ILM brought to it and look back and go, you do realize how old this movie is. I mean, you're talking 45 years ago.
Right.
So it doesn't look like a 45-year-old movie. And that was what those guys brought to it.
Yeah, yeah, and to me, it if you go back to what Jason the Argonauts and like
Oh
Sinbad,
yeah.
and yeah,
I mean,
again, that stuff was amazing to me as a
it's
kid. I was phenomenal.
oh
I was
yeah.
blown away by
Yeah,
that.
that stop motion they were doing.
Yeah, but you know,
How long after Lucas passes for a Star Wars reboot? Who knows?
well,
We,
I don't know if that if Lucas passes, I don't. I really don't think we'll ever get a Star Wars reboot. And a little said it last week. He would like to see it, but to me, I don't think that'll ever happen
they'll
because
do it.
it's this. How do you reboot that? How do you reboot such a story that has been passed over for the last 20, 30, 40 years? You can't reboot that. Like you can only just tell added on stories to that. It's
I
hard to reboot that, man. It's so hard to do that. It's like trying to reboot Back to the Future. I don't think you can do that. You can't really reboot Indiana Jones. You can just tell a new story.
no,
I
I agree. I mean, it would be very difficult, but I think at some point they're going to try.
hmm,
Because I mean, I would
fuck
hope it
that
would be
must
good and a great opportunity to kind of because
suck.
it's hard to say. I mean, again, we have such a love for it, and A New Hope. I mean, the special effects stand for themselves, but the story is a little slow. There's not a lot of action. So you could take the story and really spice it up and make it good, but you run that risk. And let's
But
face it, at some
this is
point,
this.
money. They're
But
going to do it for money.
this is why I would tell you it wouldn't because Star Wars is so historical in film
Uh,
that that stays within the pantheons of movie making.
oh, and it
And
always will.
and that's why it'll never be rebooted because it it's it is our history. And it's weird to say it, but
But
like
it's
it's
entertainment.
yeah, it's it's historical in many ways. So Disney will only take that and just kind of add on to it. I think historically they won't be able to reboot that. You can, do whatever you can, but rebooting the original stories, I don't think you can ever do that ever again. I just don't think it could. I mean, we probably a lifetime, we'd probably be dead at that point, and we would never know anyway. But I don't think that that would ever happen. Let's see. Reboot will be just like the MCU is doing, just replaced all the men with women. Oh shit.
Yeah. Well, the MCU is a little different because comics kind of have that. They have a life of their own.
Right.
And we've seen it happen even in the source material of the comics to where they reboot stories and well, and we talked about it before. How many times have we seen a reboot of Batman? I mean, they they find a little twist to it, but it's still the same story.
Again,
They'll find a way.
it's easy for that because it's again, like you said, it's comic books. Unfortunately for Star Wars, the comic books stay to the same characters the whole time. They still use Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Princess Leia. They never ever change that format. That
Well, you
format
could keep
always
Darth
stays.
Vader. Darth
Yeah,
Vader, he's timeless, sitting right over there over your shoulder.
yeah.
You can
You
keep
can
him. It's the
yeah,
live action characters. It's Luke, Leia, Han.
yeah. You can only at this point tell a story of Vader, and that's you can do it and add into A New Hope or wherever it stands at, like Rogue One. You can add that in there, but you can't change the timeline. The only
Uh,
way you're gonna be able to change that timeline is if Filoni fucking dips into the fucking universe and uses the world between worlds and switches the timeline. That's the only
uh,
way that you can justify that shit. And
well, that
have Filoni the way that Filoni fucking holds Star Wars so high on his fucking radar, there's no fucking way that he will not allow that to be touched. I'm telling you right now. Kathleen Kennedy won't even allow for it to be touched. And she's fucked up a lot of Star Wars shit. But at the same time, she still won't let it be touched. I'm
well,
telling you, it's
that's today.
yeah.
I would wager. that in our lifetime we will see it rebooted. We might not like it, but it'll happen.
But no one said Martha. Archangel, you crazy.
Uh,
But yeah, man. So uh you know,
we
that's
we shall see.
yeah, man. I
Time
can
will
only,
tell.
yeah, time will tell, but I think we'll be dead by that time.
If it's
But
bad, I hope I am dead.
yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. So we are here to talk about a special that was it's on Disney Plus now, but was a part of the holiday special, and it is called The Story of the Faithful Wookiee, which makes no sense at all. But this was created in 1978, made for TV film, the Star Wars holiday special. Excuse me, the holiday special that we will be reviewing during the holidays. Released on November 17th, 1978. Um, it was produced by Nelvana and is notable for being the first appearance of Boba Fett, as well as having most of the original Star Wars cast voicing their respective characters. The timeline of this is between 0.5 ABY and 1 ABY. What the hell does that mean, Ed?
Uh, Battle of Yavin.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's usually the point of which where they measure the timeline.
Okay. Okay. Well, Ed, I'm going to ask you because it's only just me and you just did today. How did you feel about this?
You know, I feel like I repeat myself because it's the same with anything Star Wars related. I remember the holiday special.
Mhm.
I remember that I was even as a kid like, what the hell am I watching? But this was really cool because this was the only part that that I remember was felt like it was for the kids. It's animation. It's the characters I knew. It was the voices I knew. It was short, but it was fun.
Mhm.
Looking at it now with my adult sensibilities, I still enjoy it. I like still hearing their voices, especially because it sounds like them when they're young. The story's a little weird. Um, and although it is the first appearance of Boba Fett as far as for the masses, he actually did make an appearance just before this, and I've got a slide in this to kind of show it. But I enjoy it. Like I said, it feels Star Wars. The animation's a little
Wonky.
different. Yeah, but it's typical for the 70s. I mean, again, this is right in line with the animation from The Hobbit, from Lord of the Rings, The Last Unicorn. But it really, to me, feels like
Really?
heavy metal.
The last unicorn animation was amazing.
Well, it has that same style to it. This does not have the polish of The Last Unicorn. But
Right.
again, it's a little tiny thrown together animation for a TV special that I'm very excited to see the documentary that talks about the holiday special. But I mean, from every feel of it, this thing was kind of thrown together last minute. Like, hey, what are you doing next weekend? Hey, let's do a holiday special about Star Wars. So
Okay.
it
You know,
definitely does not have the polish.
you brought up earlier when we were off air when we were talking about the some of the cartoons like Watership Down. Like
Yes,
that
dark.
when I was a young kid, that shit freaked me out. I loved it, but it was fucking dark as shit.
Yeah,
That was on HBO. And then what else? What else other animations were you talking about? Like heavy metal?
heavy
Like
metal. Which
yeah,
there's a lot of animation style. I mean, heavy metal kind of goes all over the place,
it is all over the place.
but it still has a very similar feel to the style of this in a lot of ways, just based on the time period.
Yeah.
Of course, that was one of those animations that, if for those of us our age, you were not allowed to watch heavy metal.
No, no, you
That was adult only.
yeah, that was real adult too. Like I remember that shit. I watched it though.
Of course,
In
we
the
did.
80s, yeah, in the 80s, parents didn't give a shit. Like there was no parental guidance. Like, yeah, that didn't matter. Whatever came up PG-13 or rated R didn't matter. It
All
was
you
like,
had to do is you had to have one friend whose parents didn't give a shit, and you went to their house and watched it.
No,
And
my parents did not give a
so
shit. Like,
so it was your house that I would have been going to.
I'm pretty sure, but my dad ain't let nobody in the house, so you wouldn't be coming over my house. Oh shit. But yeah, so I mean, how do you rate this? Like, I don't even know how to rate this. This is like a
Yeah, I mean,
sidekick, I guess, like at
ye-
best.
yeah, because again, it's fun. It's Star Wars. You got their voices. The animation's a little weird. The story has it's yeah, the story's different, but it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, we can go through like the slides. I do love like I can. This is not even a spoiler because if you ain't see this shit by this point, it don't even matter. Um, the
Well, if
animation,
you're watching this show, I'm sure you've seen almost everything on Disney Plus at this point.
but you know what? You know what would have been crazy though if they would have redid this animation. Like, I don't see why they really didn't at this point. Like, I'm surprised Disney didn't redo the animation. But again, this is history. So again,
Yeah.
why are they not changing shit like this? Because it's history. They don't want to change it. Weird. It's really weird. But like, this would have been great if they redid the animation. It'd been fucking dope as shit. Um, like again, like little small things, like Han Solo in the background, he looked so weird to me.
Oh, the animation they did for Han. There's an image at the very end when
Oh, it looks like a
as it's
character's
wrapping
head.
up. His face is elongated and strange, and it's nice
Yeah.
Luke's actually in a Y-wing.
Yeah, it's like the weird shit. Like the Y wing was great though. Like I was like, oh wow, it's a Y wing.
Yeah.
That was nice. But then it like went into this gooky mookie shit. It was weird. The Falcon just fell into it. But I did love the Y wing sitting there. Like they had
Yeah.
and I mean honest with you, the detail that they had in that Y wing was really, really good. Like they had the little gold, like the gold rods that are in there. And I was like, oh, they really paid attention to detail when they did that.
And I can only imagine that this was considered when doing it. As a kid, I had no interest in a Y-wing toy.
Hmm.
Just didn't have an interest until this. I
Yeah,
saw it in here, and now I'm like, "Oh, that's a cool ship. I want that toy."
yeah,
So, and
yeah.
then there he is, Boba Fett, and of course, I loved when they did the Mandalorian and utilized this
I know,
for
right?
that. That's just that again is the attention to detail that I
It
love.
it
As soon as
was
we saw it in Mandalorian, I'm like, I know what that is.
yo, we all I think everybody got hyped when they seen it. I was like, holy shit, they used that shit from the fucking cartoon. Like, oh my
Yes.
god, it was crazy. Like, yeah, fucking amazing.
So, and there's the true first appearance of Boba Fett
Right.
in the parade that was September 24th, 1978. Just
Hmm.
kind of crazy that, a little 70s parade in a little town in California, that they pull the costumes right from the movie set. So that's actually Darth Vader from A New Hope. Break the costume out. And of course, nobody had any idea who Boba Fett was.
Was
But
that Dave Prowse?
I don't know who was actually in the costume.
Hmm.
I can't imagine that it was him, but
Yeah.
still.
Hmm. And then I don't even know what the hell kind of creature that is. Did it
He
matter?
he was not friendly to his beast. He was
Fucking the Falcon
beating.
had like little floaties and shit. Like, when did that come from? Didn't know that happened. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Again, like the way they drew it, they did a really good job with that. Like they try to get as much detail in there as possible for animation anyway. Because that shit is difficult to do.
And a talisman that turns people invisible.
What? Makes no sense. Like, where's this shit coming from? This is just magic.
Oh yeah.
I love the costume colors though. I'm gonna be honest with you. The costume colors for that animation, that animated cartoon, that character was fucking cool as shit. I do love that. The colors in this had a definite psychedelic kind of feel to it. It was like
Late 70s.
late 70s, fucking hippies and fucking love and peace and fucking cool as shit. I don't know what that was. What was that?
That was the city that they had to go to get the
Oh, okay.
antidote to
Where
wake them up. So, and again, Chewbacca, he knows. He's like, something's not right with this. But Boba Fett was a little he was on the border because we saw how he treated the creature he was riding. He beats it, yells at Luke for feeding it. He's kind of somewhere in between treating Chewbacca like the animal,
Yeah.
but I think he's like, oh wait, I gotta watch my step here. I didn't realize the first few times I saw this, they have a picture on the advertisement of the person hanging upside down.
Yeah. Huh? Like, well, okay. So you're advertising this? Okay, cool.
Yep.
Love the
It was
Vader screen.
I love the original voices. The
Yeah.
only one that was different was Carrie Fisher doing Princess Leia. Luke, Mark Hamill has a relaxed sound to it. Harrison Ford doing Han, relaxed sound. Carrie Fisher, I don't know if it was the direction. It's almost like they had her yelling the lines.
It did. It did seem like that. It's weird. Weird as shit.
But
It's had a
yeah,
real McQuarrie feel to it.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. And then the droids. God.
Very stylized.
Very stylized, very like the toy,
Yeah.
like the droids Kenner toy.
I never thought of that. That makes sense because the toys were very different from what we saw on the actual movie screen. So this is kind of that in between. Hmm.
Well, they released those toys after the Kenner line, but remember they were not. They were like very limited and
Well,
like
nobody wanted them.
yeah. But now they're like sought after. They're like fucking like
Supply and demand. Nobody wanted them back then, so there was only a few.
yeah. Just fucking. I mean, them things are going for
Now
like
they're
at least
now
shit
they're
$1,000 if you can find them.
expensive as hell.
Yeah, those droids fucking Kenner things are last back. I'm trying to see if I can pull one of those damn things up. Now I'm thinking about it. The droids Kenner toys. Jeez.
Yeah.
And it's weird, Ed. I've seen those recently too. And they were really cool, but like I thought about pulling the trigger on a couple of them. I actually still might. The original ones. Now they actually re-released them though. I'll show you a picture. I mean, we all know what they look like, but I mean that was from the original toy line.
Yeah.
Yeah. And was that I don't even know if that was from a Droids cartoon or the holiday special.
No, I think that was the Droids cartoon.
Yeah.
But again, they look the same.
Yeah. Yeah. They even had like a whole Hasbro line of like the 6-inch figures too, I think, or 3 3/4 that they released.
See, I have a whole bunch of Star Wars action figures ranging. I think I have almost all of them from the originals up through probably the mid to late 90s.
Yeah, you do.
But yeah, I think my count's somewhere close to 2,700 figures, but I do not have the droids ones. And now that you're showing me these, I'm like,
They
yep.
are 3 3/4. So they're like more, yeah, they are. You can get them now too. They're actually always available. Actually, I might now I'm thinking about it, I might order them my damn self.
And I like my action figures loose. I'm not a carded collector. So
I know you are. I know.
this was kind of cool. Again, it's the little things. The motion of the stormtroopers, he's using this gun and the explosion of the ship that he's on. I love that animation.
Yeah, yeah. It's a very like it's definitely traditional animation, definitely like, you can see all the, the frame by frame and studying animation. You know what it takes to do all that. It's the flip, 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 and just like every piece you got to draw in there.
I
I think
didn't
that's really
think
cool.
about it until this moment, but what it reminds me of is the explosions of ships from Star Blazers. One
Mm,
of my favorite
favorite cartoons.
animation when they exploded because the laser went through the ship
It
and
did.
then
It's
it
like
was like it
Voltron.
exploded from the inside and expanded out.
Yeah,
It's
it's like Voltron.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Yes,
same way Voltron did. Yeah.
beautiful animation. So
Oof.
yeah, here's
They did not do
uh
anything like that.
they didn't do Harrison Ford / Han any favors in this one.
They didn't do him any fucking favors. They're
Yeah,
like, oh, we're gonna make him look like a caricature.
yeah. Well, without a doubt, that's and
Oof.
it, and that's the problem is it's not like that's the style for all of them. Luke looks normal. Princess Leia looks normal.
Yeah.
And this is the only part that kind of is weird in this whole thing. So, all right, the talisman puts him to sleep. Chewbacca knows what's going on, tries to keep them away. He goes to the planet. I'm guessing he knows that the antidote's there. Boba Fett tries to befriend Luke because he's on a mission for the Empire. They get to this last part, and the droids are like, "Oh no, he's the bad guy." It's out of character for what we know as Boba Fett, where he's like, "Oh wait, they caught me. Let me run."
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird.
And then it ends.
That was it. That was
Yeah,
it. Just fucking
it
just,
launches
I'm
out,
out.
and they're like, "Oh yeah," and then they make the joke that Chewie's like, "Oh yeah, well I knew he wasn't. He was a good guy because he smelled bad." So look at the difference between Luke and Han.
Oh no, it looks like more Mark Hamill. That does not look like Harrison Ford. That's actually very sad. It's,
I'd have been pissed if they'd like, dude.
I would have been pissed too, man. I'm like, what the fuck? That's why fucking Harrison Ford's so fucking grumpy now. He's not fucking. That's why I hate fucking Han Solo. Just kill him off. I'm tired of that shit. I gotta live with that fucking Christmas special bullshit they did to me. That
But
was
it was
it.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
the sole gem that I remember from the holiday special.
That was it. It's really weird. God, that's
Well,
so good.
this week they released the Disturbance in the Force, the documentary about the holiday special. I'm going to rewatch the holiday special first
Okay.
before I watch the documentary, so I'm fresh as far as what took place.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week. Definitely.
So,
I'm gonna watch it. I'm probably gonna watch it and just, you know.
yeah, I think it's for sale right now. You can rent it or buy it. Um, Amazon Prime.
Is it like
There's
are they interviewing like a lot of random people and shit? Or just
Well, it's interesting because I haven't, obviously I haven't seen it yet, but it almost feels like from some of the people that they're talking to, and I can't think of. It's almost like one of those spoof ones to where they interview some comedians
Mhm.
and they just kind of make fun of it as they go. But I know, like, I think Kevin Smith is one that's in it. I think it's kind of a combination of factual information along with just having fun and just bashing the train wreck of a show that it was.
Hmm.
But I'm excited for it.
Yeah, definitely. Shit.
Something
Well,
new.
we'll talk about it next week. I don't know what we're doing next week. We'll have to figure it out off air, but whatever we talk about, it'll be fun. Oh, also I forgot to share this. I did pick up Kenner Hasbro skiff toy that I'm repainting and trying to give it that real look. Probably gonna make it a little bit darker as I go forward, but I'm gonna take it off of this base and I'm gonna put it on like a black base and just have like a little bar going up, just kind of holding it in the air, like some of my models that I have to give it a little bit more of an official look. But I mean, it does everything. It's cool. All the pieces come out, and maybe I might put some figures on there because in the original,
That was
because
what I was going to ask.
yeah, I thought about it because actually in the original model, it actually had figures on it. If I can actually find that original skiff picture, but the original skiff model actually had like it looked like little clay figures uh model. I don't even know if it's even on here, but nah, it's not on here. We'll look. I'll look. Maybe I'll pull it next week. But yeah, really cool. That was a really cool piece. I add to
Looks
my
good.
collection of shit I don't need.
You absolutely need it.
Yeah, yeah,
Star Wars
absolutely.
stuff is a necessity.
Yeah, yeah. Not everything is a necessity, but yeah, that's it, man. Nothing much more to talk about. I mean, this week was
No.
a very short week. Next week I won't be here next week, as a matter of fact. Now I'm thinking about it. I might have
So
to.
we've got a little time to do both the holiday special and the documentary about the holiday special.
Yeah, we can always maybe switch it to Wednesday too if we want. Let me know. We'll talk about it next week.
And I know we've got those kind of lined up for the holidays, but I'm sure that you would agree that anybody who's watching either now or in the future, if you've got any ideas or things that you would like us to review Star Wars wise,
Mhm.
put it in the comments. Let us know what you want to see.
Please, and I'll actually ask on the community pages, and maybe get some people on here, and we could talk
And
about some more Star Wars mess.
yeah, and if it's anything unique, the more different, the better. I mean, I think I've probably seen just about everything Star Wars out there, but I'm always looking for those gems of items that kind of pop up. Like I still remember the fan made Obi-Wan and Darth Vader fight that was redone from A New Hope. I mean, I didn't catch it until like 6 months after it came out, but I
Yeah.
think I watch it, I don't know, every 2 or 3 months now just because it's that
I
good.
think we can replay that on here actually when we get a chance because it's on YouTube already. So I'm assuming we can play it.
I
It's
don't
not
know.
copyrighted, I don't think. So I don't
It
think that's a
is
thing.
fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. We might review that. We'll talk about that probably in a couple weeks.
That's a
Definitely.
hero.
I mean,
Spoiler.
our vote is a hero, but just to watch it again would be awesome.
Yeah. So if
So
anybody's got anything out like that that's hidden out there, let us know.
yeah, please do. That is it for this week. Make sure you like, subscribe, check us out every week. We're talking about Star Wars stuff. If you want to jump on the show, feel free to ask me, send me a email, or send it to a Lil. If you want to jump on and talk Star Wars with us, you're welcome to anytime. Like I'm always looking for people to jump on with me and Ed. Sometimes a Lil can't jump on, so let us know. But yeah, this is Sean,
And this is Ed.
and may the force be with you.
Always.